Josh, let's talk about Bob Odenkirk doing The Room.
Yeah, let me
Real
just get in the
quick.
position.
You're too high.
Oh, okay.
Ah, God damn it, phone.
Hey guys,
There
what's
you
up?
go. That's
What's
good.
up? What's up?
You look so handsome
Yeah.
today, Josh.
Oh, thanks. I'm just really feeling myself.
Yeah, I can tell. You got this whole vibe going.
Yeah. Oh, you look great too, Tressa.
I mean, no comparison, but thank you. Mm.
This is like the witness relocation video. It's not done properly. You can clearly see his face. Not doing a good job.
Uh, you know what I hate right now? Not being able to drink with a straw. That fucking sucks. I love a
Oh,
straw.
shit. Why don't you get one of those gerbil things that just drips down?
That's a good idea.
Oh, like those hats that have the two beer things.
Those are still straws, though. You still have to suck on it. I just can't
Suck on it.
things. I'm not allowed to suck right now, so this better be good, Josh. Oh yeah, so I want to talk about Bob Odenkirk doing The Room before we get started on this episode. I'm sure, whatever. I've said this so many times, but I'm so fucking excited about somebody remaking a bad movie because that means maybe other people will do it.
Yeah, some of the best adaptations of anything, of books, movies, come from like so-so source material.
Yeah, because
And then
people
the
can
person that like did a good job with it, like really took it and ran with it. They saw potential that was always there. Maybe they added stuff of their own, both, neither, something else.
Yes, those are the options. So
yeah.
I wasn't sure how you felt about it, but I'm super psyched about it.
Well, neither of us has ever seen the
I
Tommy
know, shut up,
Wiseau
don't tell
one.
people. You're gonna
Why?
ruin my reputation as an asylum reviewer. I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
let's just dig
I'm
into
just
that.
kidding.
One, you think you have a reputation.
I do, but not that kind.
Oh!
I got the kind they get by going behind the bleachers in Greece.
Whoa! In the nation of Greece.
Obviously.
Are you saying that you're a pink lady?
No, I'm saying I'm a whore.
You got some riz biz.
That's right. I've taken penicillin, but it will not clear up. I'll talk.
Yeah, I'm okay. So there's like gonna be a pink ladies show.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it either.
It looks, I saw the trailer. I think you sent it to me, and it was just like, it looked very Glee. Like if they did like, maybe Glee is off, but
no, but I mean, like, who else would you get to make something like that in this day and age? Unfortunately,
right. It has to be a musical, which everybody knows I hate musicals, but Grease gets a pass for some reason. And
yeah, I hate most musicals. Grease is one that I love, and Grease too.
Yes. Most men I know love Grease 2 more.
Really? I mean, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly.
Mm-hmm. You got a powerful, strong woman in the lead.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. She's great.
What's
Maxwell Caulfield is technically the lead, but I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, they're both the leads.
Yeah. Just like Grease 1, as everyone calls it.
Grease 1, Grease Prime.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
TOS.
The original series of Grease. What's the show I'm thinking of? I want keep wanting to say Rottendale, but I know that's not right.
Riverdale?
Yes. See, if I never watched Riverdale, but I hear it's wacky and goth, and I'm all for it. If they did something like that and made it a little bit dark, maybe, sure. Don't give me fucking musical numbers that are like contemporary.
Oh, so like a totally dark version of Rydell High.
Yeah. Where everyone's like a 50s witch
That's interesting. I
or
think that
demons.
I think that they might have used the same location for Rydell High and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah, that school's in everything.
Right. It's like Westwood. No, not Westwood. Maybe it is Westwood. I don't know.
The
I
school.
actually think that there's like sort of probably 3 different high schools that they use as locations for that show, and probably Beverly Hills 90210 and
Clueless.
Dragnet.
Yeah, that popular high school drama
Uh-huh.
Dragnet.
Uh,
That's
when will
right.
the Walsh kids stop getting into murder?
Always doing that LSD, smoking that grass. That's the word I was looking for.
Have you been smoking that?
Yes. What? What are we talking about? Should we clap it in?
Grass. Let's clap it in.
All right.
What's up, everybody? It's On Fire Tonight with Josh and Tressa. We are here tonight to talk about The Watchmen. We are here tonight to talk about The Watchmen, Season 1, Episode 8. A
Was that
god
first one
walks into a bar.
Is that first one too dramatic for you?
I don't know. I think I comforted it out of my mouth hole.
Ew.
You ever got problems with your mouth hole? Stuff
Nope.
coming in, coming out?
Nope, mine is perfect. Only the perfect things come in and out of it.
That's a TMI.
You
Guys, this is your one and only warning. We are going to spoil this episode and talk about every aspect of it. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Come back. You're back. Welcome back. Here we go.
Let's do this.
So what'd you think of this episode?
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get a lot more Vietnam.
A lot more Vietnam. A lot more Vietnam. More of Dr. Manhattan than the entire series.
Totally.
Very
Finally,
exciting. Yes.
He's been this absent god, but he was there along.
Who would have known? Not me.
Those footprints in the sand.
Those blue footprints in the sand that are melting them and turning them to glass. Dr. Manhattan all along. He tried carrying you, but you melted. What?
We get some real solid backstory on both Angela and Cal, aka John Osterman.
Osterman's a funny name.
We get some real details about each of them and the two as a couple.
What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was great. I mean, I'm really into it. I think that for what it's worth, I'm pretty bored of Jeremy's Iron and his whole storyline with the clones. I enjoy the I enjoy the way they explain it, how, you know, John Osterman's sort of Adam and Eve story about these two clones on a moon of Jupiter.
But why can he make the clones? I don't understand. Just because he's smart and he has science and technology.
John Osterman? No, John
No,
Osterman is Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, no. Adrian Veidt. How can he? I don't understand how he knows.
No, he does. No, he doesn't do any of that. Dr. Manhattan set all of that in motion. He's the god to that. He's the literal god. He is the god in the Adam and Eve story. He created paradise and he based it all on this English manor from Downton Abbey that he and his father escaped the Nazis and lived in.
Right. I get all that. But
so Adrian Veidt, he and Dr. Manhattan had a conversation way back when, like 6 months after Dr. Manhattan meets and falls in love with Angela.
Yep.
He goes to visit his old pal Ozymandias in Antarctica.
Naked
as a jaybird. And he walks in. Adrian Veidt is not surprised to see him.
Do you have any friends like that where they show up naked and you like don't even need to see their face because you're like, I knew it was Johnny because he was naked. All the time, every party.
I'm thinking about it. I feel like I have been that guy. I think that if you took a random sampling of my friends, more often the name they'd give you is mine.
Delightful.
Yeah, I used to be in worse shape and I would regularly take my shirt off. And then when I got in better shape, I stopped doing it because it wasn't funny. I didn't want that kind of attention.
Funny. I get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like a buff guy taking off his shirt is like, I don't need to see that.
No, exactly. That's like, ew. Are you asking for attention or are you fun party guy?
A totally normal guy who's like, has a few drinks and he's like, all right, the shirt's coming off. I just think that's funny every time. Or I used to. I don't know if I do anymore. Anyway, whatever.
And maybe you need to test it out.
Maybe I do. Whoa, the shirt's coming off.
Okay, but could you leave the pants on though?
I will not.
Okay, I understand. So my question being.
Yeah, so Adrian Veidt is chilling in his Fortress of Solitude because everything about this refers back to Superman and other comic book stuff.
Right.
So like, Hooded Justice's origin story is Superman's origin story. He escaped from a world that was exploding right as he got away from it.
Gotcha.
You get a little fucking soupçon, a little mix of some comic book history in John Osterman's backstory. As a kid who escaped Nazis.
Oh.
Like comic books, no comic books would exist without
Nazis. Josh, weird pro-Nazi. That I don't get it. Go ahead, keep going.
So Siegel and Schuster created Superman, the most enduring and popular superhero probably of all time. He might not be your favorite, but you cannot deny everything that came after is based on him in some fashion.
Sure.
Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so it's just like comic book stuff and like origins of real life comic books and origins within this show. So that's cool. I think we could probably cut all of that out. I don't know where I was going. I don't even know if I made a point or not.
I
Good luck
don't.
with that. I'm done editing podcast episodes. You do whatever you think is right.
Oh, fuck.
All right. So John makes this deal with Adrian, who is already prepared for him. Because, like, before he tried to murder John Osterman, he had a different plan that he never put to use, which was to make him forget that he has his powers and allow him to like live like a normal human being.
Yeah.
What a crazy thing. Why didn't he bother trying to do that?
Why didn't you bother trying to use it on him?
Yeah.
He's like, whatever, it's cool.
So yeah, he's
Giant
like,
space,
hey,
that's
do you
why.
know what's in this box? And Dr. Manhattan is like, I do not.
What? How do you not know? You know
Right?
everything from the past and present and future.
I feel like he should have been giggling like he just took the biggest bong rip. Like, oh my God, I have no idea what's in that box.
Oh, I would have enjoyed that.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking on the ground, just eating chips.
I thought, never mind. When Angela asked him if it was going to work, and he's like, I don't know, that means it works.
Because he doesn't know. Right. And also, when he looks into the future, there's like a darkness around a time. And there's like,
years.
And he can clearly see before and after that time.
Why are you questioning if it works? It obviously works.
Probably. I mean, I guess it works. I don't know.
Okay. He was just lying. What are you talking about?
Well, it's untested, right? Like,
not to him because he used it and it's been past and future and present.
Right. And because he experiences all moments at the same time. He's like, it's 1959. It's 25 years from now. I'm walking on Jupiter. I am right here, right now.
But
it's
the craziest
6
thing,
seconds from now.
But the craziest thing is Angela will ask him occasionally where he is. And he'll say,
while they're fucking.
Yeah, when they are. And he'll say, and he'll say, I'm here at this other time. It's not I'm everywhere. It's I'm at this other specific time right now. That's what I don't get. If you see everything all the time simultaneously, you can't ask where else are you? The question is everywhere or every time.
Well, I mean, you can't, and like as a human being, you can't answer that question with more than one answer at a time.
Unless the question is more of what point in time are you thinking about that is not right now, which still is not valid because I can do that too.
Well, okay, so maybe it's that too.
Josh, where are you right now?
Anywhere but here. I'm right here. I'm right here, right now. I'm right here in the present moment. I'm living second to second.
To millisecond. God
walking
damn
this
it.
tightrope.
When will it end? Okay.
So, yeah. So she asks him, where are you?
While they're fucking.
He's like, I'm here. I am there.
Oh, Mr. John Osterman. Is that his name? Why answer honestly to any of these questions you know the outcomes to? Because they've already happened? I don't know. Time is weird.
Time is a flat circle.
Time is a human construct. Time, I could talk about time for literally seconds.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
Yep. I'm sorry I keep getting hung up on time, but this was a lot of time in one episode and it's confusing, and maybe it's not, and maybe I'm just getting hung up on stupid stuff, but I enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
was a kid and he saw Crookshanks and Phillips fucking.
Right. Although they weren't Crookshanks and Phillips,
No.
they were like the lord and lady of that manor.
Yeah. Uh, they, what do they know? Like,
What do you
it,
mean? What do they know?
I
They were
mean,
they were like really nice.
they were so nice. It
They weren't
was,
like mad to have been spied upon. They were just
nah,
like,
they
hey,
were like,
let's have
fuck
like
yeah.
they also weren't like, please come back and watch us again. They were just like responsible adults talking about human sexuality to this kid who's probably like confused about everything in the world, having been uprooted from his
Oh
life that way.
God. I'm sure I'm looking way more into this as I usually do, but at the end of their conversation, they give him this gigantic Bible as a gift, shitty gift. And they're like, hey, promise us you'll do something really great in the future.
Right, you'll
Promise
create
us.
something beautiful.
Right. And that, like, obviously, he's a demigod right now. He can do whatever and make whatever the fuck he wants. And he made them Adam and Eve on Europa. What?
Well, I think that we have to bear in mind a few different things. One is like John Osterman having been ripped apart by whatever the particle accelerator or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
He's not sane anymore. Like he's not a
Oh.
human being. Like what he understands about human beings is both like so much more than what we know, and
So much less
like,
emotionally and
yeah,
mentally.
maybe. I
For
mean,
sure. I mean, when you are experiencing everything at once, it's got to mess with your head a little bit.
right. And so finally, when he's got like the ring in the tunnel in his brain removed and he comes out of the tunnel, he is confused. He's more confused. He's like, I don't know when I am. And he starts like teleporting around the house and floating on the pool and talking about how this is going to be important for later. And he's like, I got to make waffles, watch out for the eggs. And like he's scaring the kids, and he zaps the kids to the Dreamland Theater to go hang out with their grandfather, or their great grandfather rather.
Oh, that's not a great place. Unless it's earlier than that.
Well, not the Dreamland Theater back when it was getting blowed up.
That's
The
what I
Dreamland
assumed that he
Theater
meant. And I
right
was like,
now,
really? Oh, okay. I see. All right.
because that's where I think the Dreamland Theater today is where the Henry Louis Gates stuff is, and like the ancestry. I
Oh,
think that's where the ancestry stuff all is now.
I had no idea. That just means I don't pay close enough attention to
I
things.
could be wrong. Maybe they're not the same building.
You could be very correct, though. I don't know. Uh,
There's this great scene where um before he gets the amnesia ring, he goes to talk to Will Reeves in his mansion in New York.
that made my heart so happy that
How
he
fucking great is
inherited
that?
that. I love it so fucking much. Oh, it's so sweet. He's taken care of.
But it's also like extremely sad. Here's this man who's he's basically living in a mausoleum.
Yeah.
You know, like he had a great relationship with Captain Metropolis, and he inherited that guy's house.
Yeah.
But also, like, he doesn't even know his family. He doesn't even know that he has a granddaughter. Like, he doesn't know anything about them. And then here's the thing, that conversation is 10 years before this story. He doesn't go and seek her out during that time.
Right. As I was just about to say, like, he doesn't have a relationship with his family. I think that's by choice. I don't think he has any interest in it. And that's why I don't think it's sad. Because if he wanted to have a relationship, he had 10 years to like meet them and he didn't bother. He's fine.
I guess. And also it gets more complicated than just I want to meet them or I don't want to meet them. Because as we discussed, secrets turn into shame, whether or not whether or not that's appropriate. Right? So
Yeah.
like wearing a mask and having a secret identity can just morph into shame because it is a kept secret, because it's
Yeah.
not like living in public.
Yep, that's true.
So this god goes and talks to Will Reeves, Hooded Justice, and says, I want to make an alliance with you. And then he's having a conversation simultaneously with Angela
Angela.
in the present, like on the night when he's like reawakened, and 10 years previously.
Oh my God. She's
And
like, where are you? I'm talking to your grandfather. Hey, tell him how he knew that Judd was fucking Calvary and the suit in his closet, all that shit. And he does.
Will Reeves like, who the fuck is Judd Crawford? What are you talking about?
And he's like, or Angela's like, fuck. What did you think by asking that? You know who you are telling to ask that. What are you doing, Angela?
All
Fucking
right, so
Tony
here's the thing.
Danza over here. Yeah.
So that is a very fun way to play with simultaneous time.
Yes, agree.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Great. A
Yeah.
plus. Another thing that I love about this episode is when they first meet, their meet cute is he's wearing a mask of himself
Yeah.
to blend in. And it's like, whatever the holiday is that everybody celebrates, like dressing up like Dr. Manhattan in Vietnam for like liberation or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like the St. Patrick's Day of Dr. Manhattan liberating Vietnam. So like you've
Everyone's
just
getting
got
drunk, drinking blue beer. It's
everybody's
crazy.
blue. Like there's just a ton of people with like nerds dressed up in Dr. Manhattan blue paint, and that's hilarious.
Yes. Out of shape party guy with his shirt off and all
Love
blue.
him. Love
Of
him. That's the guy I
course.
want to see with his shirt off, not anyone
Yes.
else.
Agree. Don't show me your goddamn muscles.
So, he tries to go pick up Angela, and their conversation is awkward because she's like, I hate Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's his fault that my parents are dead. And I'm not interested in hearing your bullshit.
Like, it's the anniversary of her parents' death, which also happens to fall on this fucking holiday. Fuck. And he's like, some rando guy is just trying to pick her up and being real creepy and weird about it. She handled that way better than any woman would have. Anyone else would be like, get the fuck away from me. But she's like, I'm bored. Let's play. What the fuck are you talking
right?
about? Mm-hmm.
She's like,
Loved it.
fuck it. Just whatever you're talking about. Sure. What are you talking about, dude? I don't think I'm going to have dinner with you. No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, we're getting married. We're going to have kids.
That's weird. I don't want kids.
Yeah. He's like, well, they're not biologically ours. We raised them in Tulsa. What?
Tulsa? Why the fuck?
And she's like, all right, so what's the deal? Like,
yeah, that was me watching this episode. What's the deal? Like,
and he's like, I guess hypothetically, like somebody else could have my powers, like could transfer them. And that's like the whole idea that like the 7th Cavalry are planning to like steal his powers from him, and they've got this tachyon particle gun that's like
it
some part of
disintegrates
it.
him.
Yeah, I mean, he gets shot with it at the end, and somehow he knows or believes that getting shot by that thing is something he cannot avoid.
Right. Because he saw it. Time, man. And then he got death. Is he ever going to die? Is he even material? Is he. Man, fucking time and demigods all messing with my head.
So, like, when the story sort of catches up with the present day, and he's like all confused about when he's living, he's like, oh yeah, the 7th Cavalry are already here with that tachyon particle thing. And she's like, well, I'm gonna go fucking stop them. And she goes ham on those guys. And then John shows up and he's waving his hand, making their heads explode, which is great.
Beautiful.
And stopping bullets in midair. That's some fucking A+ Dr. Manhattan magic.
Hell yes. I want to see heads explode at the wave of a hand. And I want to see a raining of bullets just stopping in midair, maybe falling to the ground, maybe going back to the shooter. Don't care. Love it.
Yeah, totally.
When Adrian Veidt gave him the ring and explained to him what was going on, he's like, well, you might subconsciously use your powers if you like or get desperate, you get spooked, whatever.
Right. As a reaction. He says,
thank
like,
you.
Yeah, as a reaction, you might like automatically do it.
And when he woke up in current times, he noticed the clock was broken. And she was like, do you remember why that clock is broken? And he did. He remembered zapping some guy who was about to shoot Angela at White Night. Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that, but also in that conversation, Adrian Veidt is like, will I ever see this utopia I've been trying to create? And he talks about, and he's like, okay, so Dr. Manhattan is like, not on this planet, but I've got a place for you, my friend.
It sounds like you're going to murder me, sir. And
Adrian
I'm going
Veidt
to
is like, fly me to the moon and let me swing forevermore.
Do you think that trope of too much perfection is boring do you think that you would relate to that if you lived in that?
I don't know.
I think that's a privileged ass fucking take. I never really thought about it till just a second, but like, shut the fuck up. Everything's perfect for you. Oh, I'm so fucking sorry. Get the fuck out of here, Adrian Veidt.
Well, okay. Like, whether or not perfection would be boring for me or you, I think part of the question might be like, what would this world be like for him? And how would it be different from our world? Because when he's like up on Europa and it's years from now, it's like more like the present day. He is talking about everyone back on Earth, like he describes them as his children and they need him back.
Because he saved everyone with a giant squid once.
Right. He did. He like tricked them with a conspiracy theory. He murdered 3 million people in order to save 8 billion. The math checks out. It's not awesome, but
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So now he's on this moon where like there are no problems and there's no one like to have an interesting conversation with. It's just like these people that like only know whatever he teaches them or tells them to do. They're the most agreeable people, they seemingly just, humiliate him and put him in prison because that is what he wants for them to do. It's like,
I'm not gonna kink shame, but um so
but I mean, there's nothing real. There's nothing real about this, right?
Right.
So there's nothing at stake. But for Adrian Veidt, a man with unparalleled intelligence and the smartest and most capable human being ever to live or whatever, he must have been almost as bored on Earth as he was on Europa.
Yeah, for sure.
So I
Maybe.
don't know.
Yeah. Why? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did they like take Adrian Veidt as like, well, the blue guy's gone, so now you're our god? Is that what the deal is? Or are they just like, well, you're obviously better than us because the blue guy sent you? Is he like their Jesus? Why won't they let him leave? What's with the game warden guy? What? I know you're so sick of that storyline. But I have questions.
The game warden guy is apparently the very first Phillips to come out of the amniotic lake.
Right.
So he got to see Dr. Manhattan performing his magic. It was up close magic at the time because he was there to see it.
Boner handkerchief magic.
Blue boner.
That's right. And is the original Crookshanks still there?
Maybe.
And why won't they let him leave? I thought this whole time that he had been like, he had agreed that he would just leave Earth because people found out what he was doing. And this is basically his prison. It's still his prison, but why? Why won't anyone let him leave?
He's on a moon of Jupiter. Like, how would he leave?
Well, he's trying to like make inventions to leave. And then the game warden has everyone pull him back. And he's like, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Now you have to go on trial because we're mad at you.
Right.
I'm not asking for answers. I am, but I'm not.
It's okay. So he's like sitting in a prison cell. Why is there even a prison cell in this manor house? I guess he must have like gotten them to make it for him.
Was it?
And then they baked a horseshoe into a cake so that he could use it to dig.
My favorite shovel. Why does, well, okay, this manor house I'm sorry if this is a stupid question. Did Dr. Manhattan make it exist there, or did he take the actual manor house and place it on Europa?
I think he recreated
that's what I
what
would
he
assume.
Remembered from childhood, but I could be wrong.
I would assume that, but it's the way he said it, it kind of sounded like he took the one from Earth and put it there. I don't know. And if that were the case, that's why there's a prison cell in the basement. I don't know. Well, it's the basement. Where is he digging to?
He's got to get out somehow. He's gonna dig a very deep tunnel.
He's gonna find a sewer that looks like a tunnel in LA that is well lit and full of methane. All right. So this episode doesn't end well for Angela and Cal.
Yeah, he gets hit by that tachyon particle gun.
Is it like sucking up his cells?
I guess so. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, so it's doing its science, its hypothetical science magic on it.
I'm so fucking hung up on the time thing. He knows what's going to happen. Why doesn't he duck? But if he ducks, that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Maybe it's some aspect of the tachyon particles because he wasn't able to see inside that box, which had been irradiated with those tachyon particles. Maybe he's I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, that happens everywhere all the time with him. People ask him where he is, and it's a negative thing that happens after he says, okay, you know that's going to happen. Say something else.
Mm.
So does that mean we have no free will?
Just a show, man.
No, but Josh.
Wiser men than me have stated that when you get hung up on all these science facts, just remember and tell yourself it's a movie, so just relax. How does that go? What's the actual line?
I don't know. I can't remember things. Just like you said, that's how it went. What's the end? Like the next episode is the end of the series, as far as we know.
Yeah. We got
I'm
one
not happy
episode to
about
go.
that.
I know. Don't you want this to go on and on? Don't you want to spend more time in this world?
Yes. And it could easily be picked up years later. People keep going, go back, do more. Stop putting your heads up your ass. Make good things. Make me happy.
I understand why someone would walk away from this with it unfinished. Well, it's created by Damon Lindelof, who famously made Lost, among other things. And Lost was like beloved by practically everyone until they wrapped it up. And then it was behated by literally everyone. So I can understand saying, like, everyone loves this show right now. I've got a lot of goodwill.
I don't want people to hate me anymore.
Yeah, I could just walk away from it as an unfinished masterpiece.
Idea, sir.
Mm-hmm. Or I could make more money and, grind it into the ground. And people will eventually hate this thing.
Why are those the only two options? Why not take a break?
There are very few shows that can go on for years without.
I'm not even saying fucking decades. I'm saying like do like Sherlock did for a while, where there's like a good year or two between seasons and then you only get like 4 episodes. I would be happy with that. You don't have to fucking bend over backwards to make some shit, just like keep putting stuff out all the time. Make it quality. Make us want it by making us wait for it, but fucking do it. It doesn't have to be 20 episodes a year.
I know that this is sort of beside the point, but I think that Sherlock had some great episodes and an equal number of pretty terrible episodes. And I don't know that as a whole story arc together, that it really hangs together that well.
I don't think so either.
I like the way they played with expectations. So if you were very familiar with the books, sometimes they switch things up so that the exact opposite would happen from the way it was written. And that's fun.
A lot of switcheroos. No, I'm just saying, like, regardless of your opinion of the episodes, they made you wait for them. And for me, yeah, I didn't love every single episode, but I was like, I wanted to see them. I wanted to see what they were going to do next with it. And
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like all of them were good. And I'm like, maybe I should revisit that show.
I don't really remember, but I remember enjoying a lot of them and a couple of them being like, really? But I still like, bated breath every season. It seemed like it took forever for them to come out. Yeah. You know what? It's not a black and white thing. You can do a show without running it into the ground. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But like I could also see an inherent danger in going on increasingly building expectation. And the more you make a thing, the more you have to wrap it up in a great, satisfying way. And what's like another great example, not that he worked on it, but Game of Thrones is a show that like
Oh yeah.
the fans loved until final season when they were like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then it retroactively hated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's true of Lost. And I think that's like a danger of like having something great, but then you fizzle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I don't want them to make more of this. I do want them to make more of this, but I understand the rationale of being like, I made something good, people like it, and I'm a hot commodity, so I can make something else and people will like that too.
I totally get what you are saying. I'm just saying that people need to think outside the box with how they make shows. It doesn't have to be the way it's always been done.
Right. I mean, maybe another like visionary showrunner could come along and expand on where this world has gone and take it in new places. I don't know, take it in new directions.
Sure. How about a movie once in a while? How about something? Throw me a friggin' bone. It doesn't matter. This conversation will mean absolutely nothing to anybody, so it does not matter.
It's true, but I mean, like, as far as you know, sequels that are basically fan fiction, like this is fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that it's really hard to make a sequel to something that is loved in any, you know, in any capacity.
For sure.
A lot of stuff, like if you see a sequel as fan fiction, you might think like, oh, I didn't really like it as a sequel, but now that I think of it as fan fiction instead, I'm like more inclined to be sort of more generous of spirit.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have the opposite reaction. Maybe you're like, oh, fan fiction is garbage. I want official blah blah blah. And I don't know, like whatever.
That's
Whatever
how
your
I
opinion
feel.
is.
That's how I feel about the new Star Trek shows. I feel like they're very fanfic, especially Picard. It's got to be. I mean, yeah. And I fucking love it. It's so much fun because it's so different and current.
I haven't seen those shows, but I feel like I
People love
should.
them and people hate them. It's very few people are middle of the ground or middle of the road. But god damn it, I love Picard.
I loved the original series and I loved The Next Generation. And then I never watched any of the others. And they've been making new ones for decades.
Yeah.
And I just didn't watch them. And I'm not saying I never will.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of those things where there's so much content that it's overwhelming and it's like, why even bother? It's too much to start.
Right.
I get it.
That's kind of how I feel about video games. Like people that like love video games, I get it. Like I get why, you know, escaping into that world is so great, but like I don't want to give over all of that time. And I feel like you can't do it halfway, right? Like
no, you have to
the way they
finish
make
it.
games now,
They're stories
they're
and you need to know what
huge.
the end is.
And they're
And
big, big worlds, and you have to like explore the entirety of those worlds.
This story just happens to be a good 150 hours long. So enjoy.
So like I don't know if you're like a Star Wars person at all.
I know nothing.
Okay. Well, there are these movies.
Yeah, I like
and,
movies.
and then there's like more stuff.
Oh, I like stuff too. Cool. Tell me more.
They made some prequels
Mhm.
that people really hated.
Yep.
And then George Lucas was like, okay, so I guess I'll sell my company while it's still worth a whole lot of money.
Fuck
And
you guys.
Disney bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have done a great job of sort of jettisoning the stuff that nobody liked about the prequels
Oh, right.
and expanding on the world with like characters that are part of the canon and brand new characters having totally different experiences. And anyway, whatever, they've done a good job. This has just become a conversation about adaptations, fan fictions, and sequels.
And what's the problem? We
And
should just
Grease
do
2 is great.
we should just have a standalone episode where we talk about this, or just cut this out and put it in that. Um,
I feel like I feel like I don't know, like you're probably making good points. I'm not really listening, but I know that I'm just talking to hear myself talk, and nobody needs to hear that.
I mean, isn't that just what we do? Yeah. So I guess that's all the time we have for today.
Shit, wait, we gotta say some more stuff about this episode and then we wrap it up. Because we were really we took a left turn at Albuquerque.
Okay. What did we not go over? Mm-mm-mm.
All right, so somehow, like Will Reeves spent the past decade doing God fucking knows what, including becoming friends with Lady True and finding out about Judd Crawford and the new incarnation of Cyclops as the 7th Cavalry back in Tulsa, where he has not been since way back when.
But we don't know any of this. Like
I mean,
we don't know how it plays out anyway.
no, we don't, but he got a bunch of information 10 years ago. And then he did some stuff, including hypnotizing Judd Crawford to hang himself. There's a lot of great wish fulfillment in this show.
Yeah.
You know, like I just fucking love seeing KKK guys hang themselves and then watching their heads explode.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
Like I could pretty much watch that shit all day.
Hell yeah. It's like neat.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that very violent note, we must bid you adieu because that is all the time we have for this episode.
Oh my God, Josh, we gotta go.